You know what I love about this next fight between Alan Patrick and Mason Jones is just that 12-year age gap, right? We're going to see some great experience against a youthful guy who put on a great performance against Mike Davis. I thought that was one of the fights to remember. Constantly pushing forward, taking a lot of damage. I wish he would keep his hands up just a bit more, but great leg kicks, good uppercuts down the middle. I thought that Mike Davis was just, really looking like the more powerful striker, right? All of those shots just felt harder. He looked like he was winning. It was such a close fight, but he did come away with that victory. And the one thing I would say about that one is this is where maybe Alan Patrick might find some success, right? Over the course of his career, we're seeing, especially as he ages, getting the fight to the ground is probably his best game plan. But, he is a southpaw. I think that in this fight, if you look at the previous Mason Jones fight, he was quite open on the left side, and Mike Davis was mostly landing his jab to that left side and countering with big rights. But for Alan Patrick, some success might be found in trying to hammer him home with that big left hand. I think for him, with wanting to get the fight to the ground so early, he struggles late in terms of cardio, in terms of energy. And I think Mason Jones, if you go look at the beating he took with Mike Davis and the fact that he just kept pushing forward, this is a guy that's an exciting fight no matter what. That's going to be trouble for Alan Patrick. I think the late rounds are going to be really tough. You look at his fight with Bobby Green. Bobby Green's the kind of guy where if he has to overthink too much in a fight, he's not going to. It catches up to him. Now you're looking at that, Bobby Green and Alan Patrick fight. It's a bit different, right? It seems like Bobby Green's able to do whatever he wants, and all of a sudden he doesn't have to think as much. Now he's looking like a championship caliber fighter, right? That's what really blew me away. Is in that situation, Bobby Green can look so good when he doesn't have to overthink so much, and then his game plan's going perfectly. On the flip side, for Alan Patrick, it's one of those things where I want to see more from him in terms of striking and working in some kind of a game plan where his cardio doesn't get so affected and he has, limited chance of trying to come back in the fight. That's why that fight looked so dominant, is by the third round, not only was he tired, but, he was already down a few rounds. So there was a very slim chance of it coming back or getting flipped. In this case, getting the opportunity to land early could do him some good. I think that Mason Jones does leave himself open. He does keep his hands down. He takes damage. The problem is he's so energetic in the third round and willing to take a punch that it doesn't matter. So for a guy like Alan Patrick, who might still find time to get tired in the third round, maybe he wants to do more of that work in the first and try to get away with an early win, or, just try to manage that energy as much as possible, because if you don't put away a guy like Mason Jones, he's just going to keep coming. We just talked about a 12-year age gap, right? While Mason Jones was, making a name for himself in Cage Warriors, our boy Alan Patrick was, kind of taking a break. We haven't seen him that much. I think that's the part that scares me the most. Second fight in 3 years, right? And with this fight, I just see it playing out that way. I mean, if Alan Patrick is able to get any type of top game, going, that's going to be a struggle for Mason Jones. I really believe that he's going to be able to keep the fight standing. It's going to be a stand-up war for a little bit, and it's really tough to picture Alan Patrick getting out of that. I think that if he does land big, especially using those big left hands and trying to get into some of those openings that Mike Davis was kind of mostly landing his jab in, that presents an opportunity for him to pull off the upset. But if we're looking at the lines, I'm going to go Mason Jones as a favorite here. It's very difficult for me to go the other way. So taking a look at it, Mason Jones coming in at a minus 250 opener, looking at a minus 300 on some places. Just using Bet365 as a specific example, we've got minus 300 and plus 240 for Alan Patrick.